1800 hours Pakistan Standard Time. Assalamu alaikum. This is Radio Pakistan. The news read by Daman Zaman. The headline: the Malaysian leader Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has urged the international community to take notice of the deteriorating human rights situation in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. An article published in the Time magazine says the Modi government wants to change the demography in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir by issuing domicile certificates to non-locals. The foreign minister says Pakistan remains steadfast in support of an inclusive political settlement in Afghanistan. The Prime Minister has urged the nation to join him in the country's biggest tree plantation campaign tomorrow. The Minister for Information says the Ravi River project will pave the way for investment and provide vast employment opportunities to the people. Credit rating agency Moody's has upgraded Pakistan's outlook from under review for downgrade to stable one. And now the news in detail. Former Malaysian Prime Minister Dr. Mahathir Mohamad has urged the international community to take notice of the deteriorating human rights situation in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. Addressing a ceremony to express solidarity with the people of Kashmir in Kuala Lumpur, he termed the Indian action of abrogating Articles 370 and 35A as illegal. He said Kashmiris are living under siege by 900,000 occupation forces of India. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Imran Khan in his tweet thanked Dr. Mahathir Mohamad for speaking in support of the Kashmiris and against the Indian repression in the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, Srinagar-based human rights activist Khurram Parvez has said India has made full use of the coronavirus lockdowns by passing the domicile rule, which has caused alarm because of its potential to change the demography of Jammu and Kashmir. In an article in the American-based Time magazine, Khurram Parvez wrote that around 400,000 people have acquired domicile certificates in just over a month's period. He pointed out that it could alter the results of any referendum seeking people's opinion for the resolution of the larger international dispute over the control of the occupied territory. In the Indian illegally occupied Jammu and Kashmir, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference has called for a complete shutdown on the 11th of this month to pay glowing tributes to senior Hurriyat leader Sheikh Abdul Aziz. Sheikh Abdul Aziz was shot dead by the Indian troops while he was leading a procession from Srinagar to the line of control on 11th of August 2008 against the economic blockade of the Kashmir Valley by the Hindu extremists of Jammu. Meanwhile, the All Parties Hurriyat Conference General Secretary Maulvi Bashir Ahmed, in a media interview in Srinagar, welcomed the renaming of the Kashmir Highway as the Srinagar Highway by the government of Pakistan. He said such moves showed Pakistan's commitment to the cause of liberating the occupied territory from the Indian subjugation. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi says Pakistan will continue to deepen and further strengthen political, economic, and cultural ties with ASEAN and its members in line with its Vision East Asia policy. In his message on the 53rd ASEAN Day, he said Pakistan enjoys close friendly ties with all the ASEAN members. Islamabad's historic and deep-rooted relations predate the modern era as the linkages forged during the time of the Gandhara civilization. He also commended the ASEAN members for effectively and admirably handling the COVID-19 pandemic. The foreign minister extended, on behalf of the government and the people of Pakistan, warm felicitations to the Association of Southeast Asian Nations and its members on the occasion of the 53rd ASEAN Day. The Foreign Minister Shah Mahmood Qureshi has said Pakistan remains steadfast in its support to an inclusive political settlement in Afghanistan. In a tweet, Shah Mahmood Qureshi said Pakistan looks forward to strengthen bilateral ties with the United States and will continue to work with the anchors of stability. Prime Minister Imran Khan has said he wants everyone to join him tomorrow in planting trees all over Pakistan. In a tweet today, he said he has asked his parliamentarians, ministers, chief ministers, and the Tiger Force to participate in the biggest tree plantation campaign in the history of Pakistan. The Prime Minister said the target is to plant 3.5 million trees in a day, though we will try to exceed the figure. The Special Assistant to the Prime Minister on Youth Affairs, Mohammad Usman Dar, has said the Tiger Force will plant 10 billion saplings across the country. Addressing a press conference in Lahore, Usman Dar said as per the directives of the Prime Minister Imran Khan, the Tiger Force Day will be celebrated tomorrow to motivate the youth of the country and ensure their maximum participation in the force. He appreciated the Tiger Force for responding to the call of the Prime Minister Imran Khan in the crucial time when the services were required during COVID-19 pandemic. He said 1.2 million trees will be planted in the Punjab, while 500,000 in Khyber Pakhtunkhwa to make Pakistan green and clean. This is Radio Pakistan. The Minister for Information and Broadcasting, Senator Shibli Farah, says the Ravi River project is the foundation of a new Lahore in the new Pakistan, which will pave the way for investment and provide vast employment opportunities to the people. In a tweet today, he said plantation, lake, and water filtration plants projects will make Lahore beautiful and eco friendly. In another tweet, the Information Minister said acknowledgement by the international institutions of our economic management despite COVID 19 is an outstanding achievement indeed. The National Command and Operations Centre has directed the provinces to devise guidelines for managing tourism to contain the resurgence of COVID-19 outbreak. The directives were given in the National Command and Operations Centre meeting chaired by the Federal Minister for Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, Asad Umar, in Islamabad today. The meeting discussed the reopening of the tourism sector with standard operating procedures and safety guidelines for the containment of the disease in place. The forum highlighted that violations of SOPs have been observed at almost all tourist destinations, urging that if tourism sector is not managed well, it might cause a pandemic outbreak. The Minister for Aviation Division, Ghulam Sarwar Khan, says the government is committed to restore the prestige and glory of the Pakistan International Airlines, and several steps are being taken in this regard. Talking to the media in Rawalpindi today, he said PIA will be made such an airline that the people will feel pride to fly with. The Railways Minister Sheikh Rashid Ahmed has said Pakistan Railways is going to resume operation of 10 more trains from the 16th of this month. Talking to newsmen in Lahore today, he said we want to transform Pakistan Railways into a modern one that will boost the economic activities. He said the tendering process of ML1 project will be completed by the 30th of this month. He said the project will generate 200,000 jobs and appointments will be made purely on merit to complete the ML1 project. Credit rating agency the Moody's has upgraded Pakistan's outlook from under review for downgrade to stable while maintaining a B3 rating. The agency in its latest report also stated that it expects the country's economic growth to be positive in fiscal 2021 from a recession in fiscal 2020. In a tweet, the Ministry of Finance said this is an affirmation of the government's sound fiscal and financial policies in these times of unprecedented hardship and uncertainty. The Chief of the Army Staff, General Qamar Javed Bajwa, has expressed grief over the sad demise of Assistant Defense Minister Saudi Arabia, Mohammed bin Abdullah Al Aysh. According to ISPR, the Army Chief extended heartfelt condolences to the bereaved family and the Saudi leadership. He prayed that the departed soul may rest in eternal peace. To pay homage to supreme sacrifice of Major Tufel Muhammad Shaheed Nishane Haider, a wreath-laying ceremony was held at the martyr's native town, Vehari in the Punjab. Floral wreath was laid on behalf of the Chief of the Army Staff, General Qamar Javed Bajwa. A smartly turned out contingent of the Pakistan Army presented Guard of Honor. In Somalia, 8 people were killed in an explosion at a military base in Mogadishu today. The militant of Shabab group have claimed responsibility for the suicide attack. And now cricket. On the fourth day of the first cricket test match against Pakistan at Old Trafford in Manchester, England was 70 runs for the loss of one wicket in their second innings a short while ago. Earlier, Pakistan set a victory target of 277 for England. And finally, the weather. Rain with wind and thunder showers is expected in Sindh, South Punjab, and Balochistan during the next 24 hours. And that is the end of this news bulletin. For more news and analyses, log on to our website radio.gov.pk, and you can also watch the live video streaming of our bulletins on the link facebook.com/radio